The buildings were oriented all different ways, to gain a preferred exposure to the sun for one, or the prevailing wind for another. The modern human habit of laying everything out in grids oriented to the compass points, as if the buildings existed for the benefit of the roads, never got started with the DERF. Instead, the lots tended to be laid out round, and DERF felt crowded much easier than humans. The spaces between them were public right-of-ways and open to utilities. The ugly abomination of the utility pole never got started here. The door chimed softly, and Lee checked the hall camera in her specs and told the house computer to let them in. "I'm out on the balcony. Come on out," Lee invited directly to their specs rather than use the house speakers. It was easier, and she'd recently grown more aware it was possible to disturb the neighbors with too much noise. The hotel was a historic building and lacked some of the noise-canceling ability of newer construction, but she still liked it. With DERF-sized rooms and tall ceilings, the place had character. It was a change from the cramped quarters necessary in ships and stations. The shower, for example, was DERF-sized, and a waste of space for her, but done in pre-human contact marble with bronze controls that didn't feel they had to apologize for the metal with chrome plating. However, the shower did have a pressure regulator added because it was designed to blast through the heaviest DERF coat to the skin. If accidentally started on the high setting, Lee found the hard way that a DERF shower could knock her off her feet and leave a painful water jet abrasion. The doors were similarly wide to DERF's scale, like a palace, so what was a small home for DERF was open and spacious for her. Lee heard her guests come out the other door and Vic say, "Where is she?" "She must be around the corner on the shady side," Eileen guessed. She looked around the corner and verified that before Lee could even call out to them. "Make yourselves comfortable. Here's the address to order breakfast," Lee said, and sent the link to their specs. "Is there a menu?" Eileen wondered. "If there is, nobody ever offered it to me," Lee said. "I just tell them what I want, and so far they've been able to serve me. But then my tastes run to ship fare and DERF dishes. If you want some exotic earth thing nobody has heard of, they may not have it." "Like strawberries?" Eileen asked. "Oh no, that's no problem. Gordon has a big bowl of them with cream sometimes." Vic and Eileen ordered quietly, and Lee didn't strain to hear. The tricuspid shapes that predominated between the bigger properties were sometimes large enough for green spaces. Pushing your lot edge out, narrowing the road, was severely frowned on. From the balcony, Lee could see a few oddly shaped lots where 2 or 3 properties had merged, producing a lozenge or clover-leaf-shaped lot. About a half-kilometer away was the near edge of an open space with the least regular outline to be seen. A huge open-air market, with scalloped edges where the tiny figures of merchants were still setting up booths and tables to sell this early in the day. Lee zoomed in with her specs to see the action, but they couldn't resolve much at this distance. A good telescope to clamp on the handrail might be fun. The fact that the roads weren't laid out in grids had bothered Vic at first. One of his first questions when they first took a cab together in the city had been, "How do you know who has the right-of-way?" The pattern hadn't jumped out at him, and it seemed like a potential demolition derby with cars merging by rules not obvious to him. "The vehicle coming from your left has the right-of-way. It's simple. The driver's seat is on the left, so you can see the merging traffic on your side better. If you had to look over your right shoulder through the vehicle windows to see traffic that wasn't going to yield to you, it would be chaos and carnage," Lee assured him. "It's like an endless chain of roundabouts," Eileen said. "You have no straight-through roads where you can relax a little. But I admit neither do you ever need to sit stopped waiting for cross-traffic." "It's near chaos," Vic muttered. "You mean traffic circles?" Lee asked, not sure of the other name for them. "I saw a few of those on Earth, and more in videos, but most of the time I was on Earth was in a very rural area. They only had a few right in town. It seems like you should know how they work then," Lee said. "In theory, needing to apply the theory in real time every few hundred meters is another matter. I never thought I'd miss expressways, but I'm starting to see their appeal. I think I'll stick to something simple, like flying starships," Eileen said. Victor had quietly nodded agreement. As far as Lee knew, the Foys still used the automated system in the city after being in residence for 2 months, instead of attempting manual control. The autocabs drove like old men, and traffic flowed around them, but they had a very good safety record. "It's pretty up here," Vic said, taking the chair that let him see it better. Eileen was indifferent to the scenery.